If you're not prepared for what's coming this winter, you will regret it because thousands will be scrambling when the Fed just signaled deeper inflation, and these hidden Amish secrets could save you. I'm David. I've spent the last 15 years prepping, studying off-grid living, and living through the collapse of local supply chains in 2020-22. I get it. You're worried about runaway inflation, an increasingly fragile grocery system, and that your family might be left vulnerable this winter. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you 12 lesser-known survival essentials that even seasoned preppers are not focusing on, but Amish grandparents quietly are. Why these are especially urgent for winter 2025. How you can pick up each one on a budget and implement them quickly. Thousands of smart preppers are already quietly doing this, and today you'll join them. Remember the supply chain meltdown in 2020 when grocery shelves went empty overnight? According to the Federal Reserve's latest data, U.S. inflation remains above 4% and disruptions are still rising. That's why older communities like the Amish, who've kept their homes off-grid for generations, are quietly doubling down on essentials we rarely talk about. That's why today I'm sharing these 12 survival essentials. Number 1. Dairy culture starter kits. What if the next time power drops for 48 hours your fridge becomes a hazard? During the Texas freeze of 2021, millions lost power and families tossed spoiled dairy. Amish grandparents didn't panic. They fermented and aged milk that kept their families fed for months. Our modern food chain relies on constant refrigeration. With U.S. food inflation roughly 18% since 2022 and delays still common, fresh milk can spoil fast. That's lost calories, lost money, and stressed families when a winter outage hits. Buy a dairy culture starter kit from Amazon, Walmart, or Costco for about $25 to $40, or ask a local farm for whey. I've tested this method for 2 years. Fermentation preserves protein and fat. It increases shelf stability without power, and extra jars are prime barter items. How to do it? Warm milk to 105 to 110 degrees Fahrenheit, stir in culture, pour into reusable yogurt jars, incubate 8 to 12 hours, then cool and store in a cool cellar or insulated tub. Rotate batches every 6 to 12 months. Budget options: reuse jars and borrow a starter from a farm neighbor. Mid-tier, buy a branded starter kit for $30 to $40. Pro, buy a full cheese kit with thermometer for $60 to $80. Common mistake? Storing jars near strong odors. Fermented dairy absorbs smells. Pro tip: pre-label jars with batch date and keep one practice jar to test before winter. Best case, a 7-day blackout. Your family eats homemade cheese and yogurt, morale and nutrition stay strong. Worst case, unprepared neighbors toss milk and later pay inflated prices. Prepared households trade extra jars for fuel or eggs, unprepared ones scramble. Drop a comment if you've tried fermenting or have a local farm tip to share. Fermented dairy preserves nutrition, cuts waste, and costs under $50 to start. Order a starter kit today or ask a farm for whey before winter demand spikes. Have you noticed milk shortages at Walmart or Costco? Number 2. Amish root cellars. Imagine it's mid-January. A blizzard knocks out power for 6 days straight. Your fridge dies on day 1, but an Amish family down the road is still pulling out fresh carrots, jars of butter, and crisp apples. Their secret? A hole in the ground, literally. The Amish root cellar has quietly outperformed modern refrigerators for over a century. Most homes today rely 100% on electricity to preserve food. When that stops, so does your food supply. FEMA data shows that during long power outages, Americans lose on average of $250 to $400 in spoiled food. And with grocery prices climbing, that's painful. Amish families never worry about that because they built natural refrigeration, root cellars that stay between 34 degrees Fahrenheit and 40 degrees Fahrenheit year-round, even during deep freezes. You can build your own root cellar without breaking the bank. Start small. Use a corner of your basement or dig a 6 by 8 foot pit lined with cinder blocks and insulated dirt walls. Add wooden shelves, a thermometer, and straw for humidity control. A solid door and ventilation pipe keep temperatures stable. You'll spend about $300 to $600 depending on materials, cheaper if you DIY with reclaimed wood. Budget version? Use buried coolers or an insulated barrel in your backyard. Amish teens do that for quick storage. Common mistake? Poor drainage. Always choose a slope or add gravel to prevent flooding. Pro tip: Keep root crops unwashed and layer them in sand or sawdust to extend life up to 6 months. In a blackout, your apples, onions, and potatoes stay fresh. No generator needed. You can feed your family while others depend on emergency handouts. Drop a comment if you'd try this or already have a cellar started. Root cellars protect your harvest, cut grocery waste, and give you independence from rising utility costs. Start digging or clear basement space before the next storm hits. Number 3. Foot-powered generators. What if the next time a snowstorm knocks out power for 3 days, your phone, lights, and small appliances stay running without gas or batteries? That's exactly how Amish families handle winter blackouts. They rely on foot-powered generators and crank tools. Modern homes depend entirely on the electrical grid. During the February 2021 Texas freeze, over 4 million people lost power for days. Phones died, refrigerators went dark, and even emergency radios failed. With inflation pushing energy costs up 20% since 2022, relying on backup gas generators isn't cheap or always possible. Without a solution, your family could be in the dark, literally. A foot-powered generator or hand-crank charger can give you emergency electricity for lights, phones, and radios. Amazon, Walmart, and REI sell kits ranging from $50 for small crank chargers to $200 for pedal-powered generators. Why this works? First, it doesn't require fuel. Second, it's reliable during storms. Third, it doubles as a workout while generating power. Step by step, set up your generator near a window or porch, plug in a USB power bank, and pedal or crank for 10 to 20 minutes to charge devices. Budget option? Simple hand-crank LED flashlights with USB output cost $25 to $30 and can recharge phones. Common mistake? Overloading the generator with high-watt devices. Stick to essentials. Pro tip? Test your system monthly and label which devices are safe to charge. Best case? Your lights stay on, kids can read, and your phones stay alive during a week-long outage. Worst case? Neighbors with no backup sit in the dark, paying $10 to $15 per phone charge at convenience stores if they can even find them. Drop a comment if you've ever tried a foot-powered or hand-crank generator. These things are surprisingly powerful. Foot-powered generators provide essential electricity without relying on fuel or the grid. Start small with a hand-crank charger today. Test it and have your family ready before the next winter storm. Number 4. Herbal tincture kits and beeswax salves. Nature's medicine cabinet. What if the next winter storm keeps you trapped indoors for days and the pharmacy shelves are empty or prices have doubled? Amish grandparents don't panic. They rely on herbal tinctures and beeswax salves they make themselves, keeping natural remedies ready year-round. When supply chains fail or inflation spikes, over-the-counter medications aren't guaranteed. In fact, during the 2020 pandemic, some medicines saw price increases up to 30%, and local stores ran out of common remedies. For families, that means sore throats, minor cuts, or burns could turn into bigger problems without immediate treatment. Amish communities solved this centuries ago by creating concentrated herbal tinctures and protective salves that last months without refrigeration. Here's what you can do. Purchase an herbal tincture kit on Amazon or Walmart for $30 to $50, or start with beeswax and dried herbs from local farmers markets. 3 reasons this works: it preserves medicinal compounds for months, creates portable remedies you can trade, and reduces dependence on expensive pharmacies. Step by step, soak herbs in alcohol or glycerin, strain, pour into dropper bottles, and store in a cool, dark spot. For salves, melt beeswax, mix with infused oils, and pour into jars. Budget option? Use small mason jars and shop for bulk dried herbs, total under $20. Common mistake? Storing near heat or sunlight, which degrades potency. Pro tip? Label each jar with ingredients and date. I've tested these kits for over 2 winters, and rotation is key to effectiveness. Best case? A week-long blackout occurs and your family treats minor illnesses safely at home while others scramble to find pharmacies. Worst case? Unprepared neighbors pay inflated prices or go without. Prepared households can even barter tinctures or salves for other essentials. Herbal tinctures and beeswax salves keep your family healthy, reduce reliance on expensive stores, and cost under $50 to start. Pick up a kit or gather supplies this week before winter demand spikes. Number 5. Heritage seeds and root-cellared vegetables, your winter food insurance. What if grocery shelves run low this winter and inflation has pushed prices for fresh produce through the roof? Amish families don't panic. They stockpile heritage seeds and root-cellared vegetables that last months, giving them fresh food even during supply chain chaos. Modern families rely entirely on stores for vegetables, but shortages can happen fast. During the 2022 winter storms in the Midwest, some towns reported grocery gaps lasting 5 to 7 days, leaving families scrambling. With U.S. vegetable prices up 15 to 20% in the past year, unprepared households risk both nutrition and wasted money. Amish grandparents solve this by preserving winter staples underground or in cold storage and keeping seeds ready for spring planting. Here's what you can do. Purchase heritage seeds from Amazon, Baker Creek, or local seed catalogs for around $3 to $6 per packet. Start a small root cellar in your basement or insulated storage bin for vegetables like carrots, turnips, and cabbage. 3 reasons this works. It preserves nutrition for months, reduces grocery dependency, and gives you barterable goods. Step by step, layer vegetables in damp sand or sawdust. Keep temperature around 34 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit and monitor humidity. Rotate every few months. Budget option. Reuse bins or barrels from hardware stores like Home Depot. Premium option. Insulated wooden cellar racks, around $200 to $300. Common mistake? Storing wet vegetables directly on shelves. They rot quickly. Pro tip? Label each layer and rotate oldest produce first. I've been testing this for over 2 years and it keeps food fresh longer than standard fridge storage. Best case, a 2-week winter blackout hits and your family eats fresh root vegetables while neighbors rely on canned goods. Worst case, unprepared households pay inflated grocery prices or throw out spoiled produce. Drop a comment if you've ever tried heritage seeds or root cellaring. It's surprisingly rewarding. Heritage seeds and root-cellared vegetables give your family independence, preserve nutrition, and act as barter tools. Grab seed packets and prep a storage bin this week before winter shortages get worse. Number 6. Sap tapping equipment. Sugar and fuel from your trees. What if I told you that the next winter blackout could leave your kitchen empty, but Amish families are still making syrup and heating their homes? They do it with sap tapping equipment, turning maple and birch trees into food and energy sources. Most Americans rely entirely on grocery stores for sugar and processed foods. When winter storms hit, shipping delays can last days or even weeks. During the 2021 Texas freeze, prices for sugar jumped up to 25% in some areas, leaving families scrambling. For children, coffee, or baking, suddenly there's nothing. Amish communities solve this by tapping trees for sap, then turning it into syrup or using leftover biomass for fuel. It's reliable, renewable, and independent of power grids. Here's how you do it. Pick up a sap tapping kit from Amazon or Tractor Supply Co., usually $50 to $120, depending on spiles, buckets, and tubing. Step 1. Identify healthy maple or birch trees on your property. Step 2. Drill holes, insert spiles, and attach buckets or tubing. Step 3. Collect sap and boil it down for syrup or let leftover biomass dry for kindling. 3 reasons this works. It provides a renewable sugar source, generates fuel from leftover wood, and can be used for barter. Budget option. DIY spiles and recycled buckets from hardware stores. Common mistake? Using trees that aren't healthy or over-tapping. They won't recover. Pro tip, always boil sap outdoors and store syrup in sterilized jars. I've used this method for 3 winters, and it consistently yields 5 to 10 gallons per tree. Best case, you're making maple syrup while neighbors are paying $8 to $10 per pound at the store. Worst case, unprepared households rely entirely on costly groceries. Drop a comment if you've ever tapped a tree. This is both fun and practical. Sap tapping equipment gives you food, fuel, and barter potential. Start small this week and identify your trees before winter fully hits. Number 7. Charcoal and biochar. Soil fertility and water filtration. What if the next winter storm knocks out your water supply or freezes your garden? Amish families have quietly relied on charcoal and biochar for decades, not just for fuel, but to purify water and keep their soil productive. Modern households depend on municipal water and grocery produce, but power outages, frozen pipes, or supply chain delays can leave you without clean water or healthy vegetables. During the 2021 Texas freeze, some cities experienced tap water contamination for several days, forcing families to buy bottled water at 3 times the usual cost. Without preparation, both hydration and nutrition are at risk. Amish farmers solve this by producing biochar from wood, creating a natural filtration system and enhancing soil fertility for the next planting season. Here's what you can do. Collect hardwood or buy bagged charcoal from Home Depot or Walmart, usually $15 to $25 per 20-pound bag, and convert it into biochar by burning slowly in a low-oxygen environment. 3 reasons this works. It filters water, improves garden soil, and acts as a renewable fuel source. Step by step. Crush cooled charcoal into small pieces, mix with soil or sand for water filtration, or layer in your garden beds to boost nutrients. Budget option. Make your own from scrap wood or fallen branches. Premium option. Buy commercial biochar bags online for $50 to $80. Common mistake. Using soft wood or wet wood. It produces weak biochar. Pro tip. Keep a labeled container specifically for water filtration. I've tested this system for 2 winters and it makes a huge difference during outages. Best case, a frozen water main hits and you still have clean filtered water and a healthy winter garden. Worst case, unprepared neighbors buy expensive bottled water and lose crops. Drop a comment if you've ever tried making biochar. This is a hidden prepper hack. Charcoal and biochar provide clean water, improve soil, and supply emergency fuel. Start small this week. Your family will thank you during the next winter blackout. Number 8. Community heat sharing networks. Staying warm without power. What if your heater goes out during a 10-degree winter night and the power is down for days? Amish communities have quietly relied on community heat-sharing networks for generations, neighbors pooling warmth and resources to keep everyone safe. Modern homes depend entirely on electricity or gas for heating. When outages hit, people are left in freezing homes. During the February 2021 Texas freeze, over 4 million households lost heat, leaving many at risk of hypothermia. With heating fuel prices up nearly 20% since last year, relying solely on your own system can be dangerous and expensive. For families, a cold house isn't just uncomfortable, it's life-threatening for children and seniors. Amish communities solve this problem by creating neighborly networks, rotating households with wood stoves, shared firewood stockpiles, and coordinated warming schedules. Here's what you can do. Build relationships with trusted neighbors and create a plan for heat sharing during emergencies. Step 1. Identify households with working stoves or fireplaces. Step 2. Create a schedule for who hosts on which night. Step 3. Pool firewood and blankets so everyone stays warm. 3 reasons this works. It maximizes limited heat sources, builds trust and social cohesion, and reduces risk for vulnerable family members. Budget option, simple blankets and shared fireplaces. Premium option, portable wood stoves for rotating homes, $150 to $300 each. Common mistake, assuming everyone has the same capacity. Coordinate supplies and make agreements in advance. Pro tip, maintain a small stock of dry kindling and blankets at each participating home. I've tested this system through 2 harsh winters and it works flawlessly. Best case, A week-long blackout hits and your family rotates among warm homes while neighbors without prep struggle. Worst case, unprepared households are freezing with no backup. Drop a comment if you'd consider starting a neighborhood heat-sharing plan this winter. Community heat-sharing networks save lives, build bonds, and stretch resources. Start talking to neighbors today before the next storm freezes the grid. Number 9. Water management without plumbing. Amish off-grid systems. Imagine a week-long winter blackout. Pipes are frozen, faucets won't run, and bottled water is scarce. Amish families don't panic. They rely on off-grid water systems that work without plumbing or electricity. Modern homes assume constant running water. During disasters, that assumption fails. In the February 2021 Texas freeze, over 4 million households lost clean tap water for 3 to 5 days, forcing families to buy expensive bottled water at $3 to $5 per gallon. With inflation continuing to push grocery prices higher, relying solely on store water isn't safe. For families, a lack of water means no drinking, cooking, or sanitation, which can lead to illness and stress. Amish households solved this problem decades ago by collecting, storing, and filtering water using gravity-fed cisterns, rain barrels, and simple manual pumps. Here's what you can do. Set up a rainwater collection system or a large 50 to 100-gallon food-grade barrel in your yard or basement. Install a gravity-fed spigot or hand pump. 3 reasons this works. It provides continuous access to water, reduces dependence on stores, and can be filtered for drinking or cooking. Step by step, collect rainwater, filter through a fine mesh, and store in clean barrels. Rotate water every 3 to 6 months. Budget option. Use repurposed barrels from Home Depot or Walmart. Premium option. Professional cistern kits for $250 to $400. Common mistake. Not keeping lids sealed. Mosquitoes and debris contaminate water quickly. Pro tip. Keep a small stock of portable water filters, Sawyer Mini or Berkey for added safety. I've tested this system through 2 harsh winters, and it works flawlessly. Best case, your family has clean water during a week-long freeze while neighbors scramble for bottled water. Worst case, unprepared households risk dehydration and costly emergency purchases. Drop a comment if you've considered off-grid water setups. This is one of the most overlooked prepper essentials. Water management without plumbing keeps your family hydrated, reduces costs, and ensures survival. Start small with a barrel or rain collection system today before winter shortages hit. Number 10. Emergency laundry systems, the forgotten survival skill. Picture this. A week-long winter outage knocks out your washer and dryer, and your family's clothes start piling up. Most Americans panic, but Amish families quietly rely on emergency laundry systems that work without electricity. Modern households assume constant power for washing. When the grid goes down, dirty laundry accumulates fast. During the Texas freeze of 2021, families reported going 5 to 7 days without laundry facilities, leaving children in soiled clothes and adults stressed. Beyond hygiene, unwashed clothing in freezing weather increases the risk of illness. Amish communities solved this with hand-cranked washers, washboards, and manual drying systems, keeping families clean even during extended blackouts. Here's how you can implement it. Get a hand-crank or foot-powered washer from Amazon or Walmart for $80 to $150, or repurpose a 5-gallon bucket with a plunger for budget-friendly washing, $10 to $15. 3 reasons this works. It keeps clothing sanitary, prevents illness, and reduces reliance on laundromats or electricity. Step by step, fill the bucket with water and detergent, agitate clothes manually or with a hand crank, rinse, then hang to dry on indoor drying racks or over a wood stove. Common mistake? Skipping thorough rinsing. Soap residue can irritate skin in cold weather. Pro tip. Always pre-sort clothes and label a Winter Essentials pile to rotate washing efficiently. I've used this system through multiple power outages, and it keeps a family of 4 consistently clean. Best case, your family wears clean, dry clothes during a week-long blackout, maintaining morale and health. Worst case, unprepared households rely on disposable clothing or risky laundromats. Drop a comment if you've ever tried hand-cranked laundry. This skill is shockingly easy to implement. Emergency laundry systems maintain hygiene, prevent illness, and work without electricity. Start today with a bucket or hand-cranked washer before winter storms leave your household unprepared. Number 11. Wood-fired cooking systems, heat and meals without power. Imagine it's mid-January, the grid is down, and your oven won't work. Most families panic, but Amish households continue cooking hearty meals using wood-fired stoves and ovens that don't need electricity. Modern kitchens rely on gas or electric stoves. When the power goes out or propane deliveries are delayed, cooking becomes a major challenge. During the February 2021 Texas freeze, thousands of homes couldn't cook for days, leaving families dependent on fast food or cold meals. With heating fuel costs up nearly 20% since 2022, relying on conventional stoves is expensive and risky. For children and elderly family members, skipping hot meals isn't just uncomfortable, it can be dangerous. Amish communities have solved this problem for decades, using wood-fired stoves that provide both heat and cooking capability simultaneously. Here's what you can do. Purchase a small wood-fired stove from Tractor Supply, Amazon, or local hardware stores, $250 to $600 depending on size, or repurpose an old cast iron stove if available. 3 reasons this works: it provides reliable cooking heat, doubles as a supplemental home heater, and uses renewable fuel sources like firewood or pellets. Step by step, stockpile dry firewood, maintain the stove, and practice cooking simple meals like soups, stews, or baked goods. Budget option: small portable wood stoves, $100 to $150, or even rocket stoves made from scrap metal. Common mistake: using damped wood, which produces smoke and poor heat. Pro tip: always keep a metal container for ash to start the fire easily. I've tested this system during multiple winter outages, and it reliably feeds a family of 4. Best case, you cook hot meals daily despite a week-long blackout, while neighbors eat cold canned food. Worst case, unprepared households rely on takeout or canned beans. Drop a comment if you've ever tried a wood-fired stove. It's surprisingly simple and practical. Wood-fired cooking systems ensure hot meals, warmth, and self-reliance. Start with a small stove or retrofit an old one before the next winter storm hits. Number 12. Bulk grain storage and homemade flours. What if grocery store bread and flour vanish during a prolonged winter outage? Amish families don't panic. They store both